Okay, I'm not even gonna lie. I'm not a physician. I'm not licensed in anything. I ain't even got no degree. All I got is a high school diploma. Okay? So I'm not gonna talk about depression in depth. But I will say this. In these 29 years of my life, going on 30, I've come to find that depression is about spiritual maturity. It's one thing to be psychologically or mentally or emotionally mature, but it's a whole nother thing to be spiritually mature. I'm going to give you a little tale about what it takes to have spiritual maturity. So in my 29 going on 30 years, I've experienced domestic violence, child abuse, rape, and um, it was traumatic. And growing up poor, it was traumatic. Not gonna go in depth because I ain't got that kind of time. But you can just use your imagination. The shit gets crazy. I've had a hard life. And as a result, I hear voices in my head every day. They condemn me, they persecute me, they insult me, they command me to do things. I've been hospitalized multiple times. I've attempted suicide before, more than one occasion, and I can't work. And it's funny because, you know, out of all the shit that this puts me through, what hurts me most is that I can't work. I don't care that about my childhood being rough. I don't care that this illness has been a catalyst for sexual assault and uh, imprisonment. I don't like that I can't work. I think, you know, all we got is five senses for the most part. We can't fly, we can't shape shift and shit unless you're some kind of witch or some shit, you know. And even then, it's still not perfected. We ain't got nothing better to do. Let's just have something to do. Make some money and party and travel and stuff. That's what I want. But I can't do it right now. And I've tried all sorts of medications. I don't know which ones is gonna help me, but I'm open, looking for some all the time. But it's not about that. And I'm gonna tell you this tale. It's gonna free some people because it freed me. About a year ago, I rescued a sparrow, a baby sparrow, who was out in the hot sun on the hot asphalt in the middle of the street, dying. It felt like 100 degrees. I don't know what the temperature was. I think 96. It felt like a solid 100 though. And the voices had driven me so mad that I stormed out of the house. Talking about you're gonna sell your body for drugs. You're gonna do this and that. So I'm storming out of the house, and I have no shoes on, trying to run away from home as fast as possible because I feel like a bird and I feel like no one understands me. And some guys give me some socks, some shoes, some juice, and some Takis. And so I'm safe enough to walk back home because I feel like there's some meaning behind that. I still didn't want to. I just wanted to throw my life away and give in to what the voices told me to and just start selling my body. So I did attempt to do that in some seedy little neighborhoods, but it didn't work. Like none of the men wanted me. So I kept walking. And I saw this bird hyperventilating. And I'm an empath, so like his head was hurting. He was hyperventilating. He was very, very, very hot internally and externally. And so I picked him up, and that's when I knew he's in dire straits. He's letting a human interact with him. And so I nursed him back to health. I drank with him. I drank the little juice with him. Because animals like that shit. And that's what a pet cat taught me years prior to this rescue. They like you to eat with them. It's kind of gross to me, but I do it anyway because I like for them to be happy. So I drank some of my juice, and then I let him. And he learned to part his mouth open. He watched me drink, learned to part his mouth open to receive the juice. So I took him to, and we just so happen to have a hedge but in front of the house, and so it provided shade. So I let him there, and I went in the house to get some crackers. I wanted to give him some worms, but I ain't have none. I be wanting to feed birds worms for some reason. So I get the crackers, but he's moving now. And I say, "Hey, little fella," and he take off in fear, and it hurt me, but it was it was profound because I nursed him back to health. That's the nature of that animal. They fly, they do what they want. They not nobody's pet. And that's spiritual maturity right there. See, we can't get what we want all the time because it's a bigger picture. You can't see the forest for the trees sometimes. And see, when you do that, it blocks you from your spiritual maturity. This place has a spiritual element to it. I've seen all sorts of signs and wonders on my journey, and you will do the same.